For the past 7 years here at the Viola Arena, Cardiff Devils head coach Andrew Lord has presided over highs and lows. Thankfully, there have been many more highs than there have been lows. He's presided over 2 Challenge Cup victories, 3 conference titles, 2 league championships and 2 playoff championships. There's been many high caliber players that have passed through in his stewardship, and of course there are many moments as a player that he also was fortunate enough to give the Devils faithful. We were lucky enough to sit down with Lordo to talk about his time as a Cardiff Devils player and a Cardiff Devils coach, and hear from the man in his own words as to his Cardiff Devils adventure. What a whirlwind couple of weeks for you and the club. How are you settling into your new role so far? How's everything been going, and how are you?
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here. Center ice. Pretty weird to not have the ice in. That's rare here. We've been so fortunate having the ice year round, for since it's open basically. So it's been really strange seeing this, but yeah, fun to be interviewed again. Even though I'm departed, I didn't know if you guys would use me anymore, but things have been good. I mean, it's been a complete whirlwind. The send off there a few weeks ago meant everything to me. It was so special, a whirlwind of emotions. Those couple days were extremely hard, from the decision to letting everyone know. Really difficult, and then there wasn't much time to sort of reminisce or anything like that. It was right on to the next job, and we had the end of the month of June there. By July 1, you got to decide sort of who you want back in Greenville. So kind of a real rushed full tilt 8 or 9 days to decide who we were going to retain, and then also who we were going to qualify, and then who we weren't going to sign before the free agency deadline. So now it's kind of onto the open market in Greenville to build that team, and it really reminds me of our first day on the job in Cardiff there, where we just sort of were starting from scratch. So very busy, but a lot of fun, and it's a great challenge right now.
From the present, Andrew, we're going to go back a little bit, if you don't mind, to way back when you weren't a coach and you were a player donning the Devils jersey. You had a very difficult year as a player on a team that had a lot of things in the background that were affecting you. In that summer, what made you hang on? I believe Neil Francis had a lot of guys on the hook to hold on and stick with the plan. What made you not take up any other offers, and what made you decide that things were going to turn the corner in Cardiff?
Yeah, I mean, that first season, I was very fortunate. I was able to get my MBA, and I think at the as difficult as that season was, what it did was it allowed me and others to see the potential of the city, and also more importantly the team. So there was so much discussion that whole year of if there could just be a bit more of a stable backing, and if it was run more professionally, what could become of this place. And so there was that aspect, and then also Franny was instrumental. I mean, he really he kept a few of us on board there, really trying to just to give him some more time to work out what was ever going on, because we didn't really know. We just he gave us a few hints, but obviously couldn't speak too much about it. And I mean, I'm forever grateful to that man. He literally, changed my life ultimately, gave me my first coaching opportunity. So just incredible there. And I mean, it was real interesting. I had a really good offer from another team, a rival, and was very close, multiple times. Just, should I just get it done? What's the point of waiting? Just ready to go. And, fortunately I didn't. And then all of a sudden it just as quick as anything, it changed. And then overnight, I remember signing. I'm a big believer in nothing's done until it's actually signed. And when that contract was finalized, and Todd and the owners and Franny, and it was go time. I mean, it was just, I cannot express the excitement that I had in those coming days. It was unbelievable. I knew I blew up Todd's email with probably 100 emails, and lengthy ones. I was just a young, hungry guy that didn't really know what he was doing, but had a lot of passion at that time.
Was there any apprehension, given how young you were? I mean, you were still prime years as a player.
No, because there was a lot of things that I was talking to Todd about this just the other day, actually. And if you rewind and look, it's hard to see. Just, you know, if you go on the stats pages there's 1 year when I was in Oklahoma City, I re-signed after getting finally called up to the American League. I re-signed for that one season and got injured in training camp, kind of a neck injury with a concussion component, and I missed the entire season. And they declared me, not able to return to play early in the year. I loved the team, loved the coaches. It was a great spot there in Oklahoma City. I was finally in the American Hockey League, which was, a huge goal of mine, and I was very lucky. Those coaches allowed me just to be, a fly on the wall. They showed me the ropes. Rocky Thompson showed me the ropes of cutting video, being the eye in the sky, being on the radio that season, doing some Black Ace practices, and that. I basically had a year of getting to watch some very good coaches. Another one, Todd Nelson, who's now in the NHL. I got to literally just follow them around for a season. I was so lucky to get that opportunity. And funny enough, then when you fast forward a couple years later, I knew because of that experience that I was a coach and I wanted to really get into it. So when the opportunity, when Franny mentioned it to me, I jumped on it hard. I wanted it, I needed it, and it was time. So there was no apprehension at all.
A lot's been talked about that first year, how quickly you managed to pull a team together, how special that group of guys is, and of course how special that Challenge Cup trophy was to you. I guess my question to you is, that Challenge Cup trophy, if you didn't win it that year, would the rest of the success have been as, not easy to achieve, but did that trophy lay a foundation that really did kickstart of something even more special than maybe it could have been?
I mean, that is a tough question. It's a good question. I'm obviously not a prophet or anything, so I don't know what would have happened, but I mean, I think we were still in a really, it was a really good year. I was so proud of that Challenge Cup, but I was actually probably more proud of the season we had. We were right in there. We came down to, a goal in Sheffield to lose the title, essentially, on their home ice there. It was tied up, and then we lost 2-1 or 3-2 or whatever it is late in the season. I mean, that's a heck of an achievement for a first-year club. And also when you factor in the small ice and then having to go to the big ice every weekend, overnight, basically changing game plan and style of play and the adjustment of having to deal with the big ice. I was really proud of all that. So I don't know how much it would have affected things. I think we still would have had a great off season. It definitely really solidified, I think, the excitement behind the club, which probably did have a huge impact going forward. The fans had, been so close for so many years there in finals and second places and all those things, and to finally get that for them, to feel the energy the weeks after that, and that off season was incredible. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that was a real stepping stone, and it did. Anytime you can put a title next to your sales pitch in the summer, it doesn't hurt as well. Before that, we were sort of clutching at straws and, trying to sell the city, and there was lots of good things to sell, but, when you've won, it definitely does change the dynamic.
You mentioned about the small ice there, and for a man who has such high standards in everything he does, you did seem to warm to the Big Blue tent, which had many deficiencies. When you think back to that time, can you believe that you managed to build two really good teams to play in such a unique atmosphere and unique building?
I mean, it was awesome, and I think we've talked enough about the character of the guys and how fortunate we are with the ownership group and the staff and everything around that. And I mean, when you got down to it, we did recruit a team that was very competitive. If you go through that roster, we had toughness, we had size, but I mean, we also had some real small guys. You look at Brent Walton, height-wise, he's a very small individual, and there's there was a lot of skill on that team too. But even the Joey Martins, the Waltons, the Chris Culligans, all these guys competed their asses off, and you need that on the small ice first and foremost there. From there, I think we had a real good game plan with the team we had to be effective in that rink and close time and space and manage the puck appropriately. And the guys loved it. We got good at it, and we got some confidence from some good games in there. And yeah, it was fun. It was an electric atmosphere. The wood flooring sure made it the loudest rink I've ever played in. I still remember when we beat Belfast in the Challenge Cup. I think it would have been the quarterfinals there the first season. And I think we were up a couple going down, or maybe, yeah, a couple late in that second game. But I mean, the place just, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. And, you know, I'll always remember that rink. I miss it, but I don't miss it.
And then we moved here to our current surroundings. How important was it to have a building that matched your ambitions for what you had on the ice?
Yeah, I think it was the perfect, another one of these, you know, crazy happenings at the perfect time, because there was so many of those things that, you know, allowed this last 6 years to happen. And the new rink was one of those. It allowed our budget to change dramatically. It eventually, you know, probably a year late, allowed me to go to the bench and hang up the Reggie Dunlop role there, the player coach. I miss playing, but I don't miss having explain a player coach to everyone, because I don't know how much credibility it gave us, but that's for another day.
They didn't offer you the player coach in Greenville, no?
No, funny enough, they didn't. But yeah, I mean, it was great, and I think our fan base had not only grown. If you look at how many new fans we have and the amount of kids we have now behind the team, it's fantastic. But also the old fans from the past came back. So our fan base ultimately grew tremendously, and it was the perfect time to kind of open the doors to more seating, a new age building. And I mean, this bowl, it's awesome. I mean, the atmosphere in it, the sight lines, all of that is just fantastic. And you know, it did really come at a great time for our club.
As we moved into the Viola, there was a rivalry brewing, an old rivalry reignited, I guess, with the Sheffield Steelers, who were top of the tree and were reigning champions. And there was a real sense going into the league, the year that we won the league for the first time in 20 years, that, you know, we had to match the Steelers and we had to take them off of their perch. Can you talk to that rivalry and just how much of a buzz it gave you to have a target in which to reach that year?
Yeah, I mean, it was heated and then some, and I mean, it was wild. It was you know, an obsession to, you know, beat that team, literally. You know, the way they've obviously had a great, you know, history of winning, and they make sure everyone know about it. You know, and you know, that's their brand, and you got to give them respect for that. But at the same time, it created a fire like no other. You know, that first year to pull off that Challenge Cup on their ice with the team we had and the budget we had, it was fantastic. And then I think that really, you know, just built that rivalry even more. And from there, the next however many years it was, 3 or 4, it was there were some great games, so many great games, back and forth, seesaw battles, so many good hockey players. I mean, the caliber of play in some of those games, you know, was some of the best hockey I've ever been a part of. And you know, that's I'm very proud of just being in those tough competitions and tough games against a very good rival.
Was it quite poetic that you clinched the league title on their ice as well?
Yeah, I think another amazing part of that first one. And I mean, it was just so much time and effort and dedication from the guys. And I mean, I remember hugging some of the boys after that. And it was just unbelievable, you know, how much they put into it, and to find a way, and then to win in convincing fashion in that game as well was another fun one.
Did you feel the pressure to win that first league title? Was that a different kind of pressure to any other trophy that you've won while here in Cardiff?
Yeah, I mean, the leagues, no matter what you want to say, you know, the Challenge Cups are great, the playoff trophies are fantastic, but I mean, the league title is essentially, you know, I guess the judgment of myself as a coach, the organization. It had been so long since Cardiff had won it, and you know, it just put us right back in there and just said, you know, what we're made of, and you know, it showed how much you know, we put into it, really, because it is you know, it's another weird one to explain to people that don't know our league very well, and a lot of people think it's strange, but I learned to absolutely love it, and it's something I'm really going to miss, because the consistency, weekend to weekend, game to game, to win that title is like nothing else. I mean, it's over. I mean, I guess it was 60 games and then 52 or whatever. It's bounced around a bit, but that is so much, you know, competitive hockey, and you know, to beat out so many great teams in this league was very, very special.
You win back-to-back league titles, and at the end of the second year, you hang up the skates for good. But you have an absolute fairy tale ending as a player to score a goal in the final minute of your final game as a professional. Not many people, I guess, get to have that perfect end. I know you were putting up more effort and more focus into your coaching at that time, but wow, you must have not been able to write that script for yourself.
That was a crazy moment. Another one of those just wild ones to think about. And I mean, if you rewind it, I hadn't been playing at all. I mean, I turned into a bench coach, and I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. That transition from player to coaching, you know, with the amount of time that goes into coaching, and just that initial, you know, your workouts cease to exist all of a sudden, and the body changed quick, the eating habits changed. I tried what I could, but it was, you know, I was not anywhere near where I was a few months prior, fitness-wise, and I mean, I was real nervous going into that game. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how I'd perform. But you know, credit to the owners and Steve and Todd. They said I was doing it, and another, you know, forever grateful moment. Great memory. Cool to think about that when you bring it up. And I mean, I was not feeling great in the second period, just fitness level wise. It was pretty ugly. I was blowing hard, but yeah, I mean, that puck, that goal was a fun one. I mean, Rudder, just little spin there, gets it on, and it popped out just perfect. And
he told us he did that on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was never a great skater, but I always did feel good in tight there around the net, and was able to fortunately get it up and under the bar, which was fun.
And no one quite enjoyed scoring a goal more than you.
No.
Your Selly game is really strong as a player.
I'll miss that too, because I don't think anyone will, you know, realize my old celebrations. When I was still playing, I could kind of lead by example on that for the guys, but I don't know. I love a good celebration, that's for sure.
Well, there was more celebrations to come, this time in the form of playoff trophies. Again, long barren spell for a club the size of the Devils to not win that playoff trophy. A lot of fans were almost resigned to the fact that Nottingham would never see the Devils win, but you did manage to break, after 19 years, that drought of a playoff trophy. What do you think of the Nottingham weekend and the way that the playoffs work here? It's obviously special to go into the off-season as champions, but it's a very unique competition in terms of hockey as a whole.
Yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, again, it's another one of those. At first, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a bit Mickey Mouse. You know, you got to remember, I've grown up watching hockey since I was in diapers, and you know, watching Stanley Cup playoffs was basically any Canadian's you know, entire, you know, childhood, I guess. And you know, I am looking forward to some best of sevens going forward, back when I get back over to North America, for sure. But then when you get to Nottingham and you are a part of that weekend, it is incredible. Another electric atmosphere, such a cool experience, seeing all the fan bases there. The whole town's buzzing because everyone's in the hotels and walking around at the pubs, and such a cool weekend. it was fun just seeing our growth throughout that tournament over the years. You know, I think the first year we missed it, and then kind of got better and better and better, and capped it off there, winning that with the Morissette empty netter. I mean, it was that was a crazy win, and just a great celebration too, and a lot of fun. And on the ice, it's you know, it's just really dramatic. I think with the league title, you don't always know when it's going to happen, right? So it could happen on the road, it could happen at home. There's other factors involved, you know, if the team loses or vice versa. But that one, you know, that game, right? And I mean, it was just the two we won were fantastic ways to finish the season for different reasons, both, and a lot of fun.
That second one against Belfast, was that particularly important because that stopped them doing the sweep, and that might have given them more impetus going into that next season? It was in the stands perspective, it seemed that stopping them winning that final trophy ensured that you sent a warning shot that the Devils weren't going away, even though they'd been disappointed in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we were looking as far as the following season. I know we weren't, in fact, but I mean, with what happened and to, you know, to tie on points and to lose the tiebreaker format, you know, did we need to win some more games there down the stretch? Absolutely. Is that on us? Absolutely. But to tie and lose over whatever many games it was, 60 games at the time, I believe, is crazy. And now that I'm not in the league anymore, I can say they need to change that and make a one-game playoff if that ever happens again. I can push that message. But you know, at the same time, Belfast an incredible team. That was one of the best teams I've seen in this league, hands down. You know, Keefe and Thornton and that organization did a hell of a job. And I mean, that team was so hard to play against. It was a really exciting team too. The offensive upside they had. And they were never out of games. It reminded me of a few of our teams, to be honest. But back to it, to lose on the final day in Coventry there was complete misery. And then, you know, I don't know many teams that could have kind of pulled it out and dusted themselves off and come back and, you know, won that playoff against the very same team. And, you know, that was real special. The mental toughness that took out of those guys was something I don't think I've ever seen before, really. It was incredible, really special moment, and what a game of hockey that was too. Wow.
We mentioned hunting down Sheffield to win that first league title, but after that first league title, the genie was out of the bottle. There was no hiding from the fact that Andrew Lord was a good coach and the Cardiff Devils were going to be a top team. Did your ethos as a coach change, being the hunted rather than the hunter?
No, I don't really think on that in those terms. I think of, you know, what we need to do on the ice, the systematic stuff, the culture stuff. It just gets tougher when you've won, right? Because, you know, when initially no one really knows exactly what you're doing, and then over time you're there for a while, people pick up on your structure and your players and all those things, and then you make little adjustments and you make little additions and you keep trying to get better, but other teams are getting better. And it's, you know, that's why winning something twice in a row is so hard. It is so hard. And then you factor in human nature as well. I mean, I relate it to work. If you go into your job and you have a great day and everyone's telling you how good you are, I wonder how many people are coming in the next day or the following season with that exact same hunger. So after we win the first one, you know, was every player just as hungry that off season and every game the following year? I mean, very impressive stuff to do what we did again, and in the fashion we did it. It was unbelievable to see, and another testament to what these guys are made of, and, you know, how much they care about the club.
All that success also took you to the Champions Hockey League as well, and in this building there was a victory over Davos, you know, the famous club from the, you know, the Spengler Cup that we see year in, year out. Was it a regret for you not progressing in that competition? But on the flip side, what did you learn and what did this club learn from being in the CHL?
Yeah, I mean, would I have loved to progress? Absolutely. There is a running joke from the CHL that we've, I think, that had the kiss of death or the group of death all 3 seasons, which, I mean, you could probably debate. I think that's real fair to say. Some incredible teams. I loved it. I love that tournament. I could do that. We always joke, we wish that was 15 games, that whole thing. I know the guys get up for it, the challenge to play at that pace, to play at that level against those unbelievable players it was awesome. And I'm so proud of that. And were there embarrassing moments? Probably some of our most embarrassing moments as a club and as a coach, for sure. I mean, going into Davos and getting pumped, and there was a few other ones against SHL teams, but still loved every minute of it. For my education as a hockey coach, there was no better way to learn going against some of those great teams. Same with our players. I think it drove us forward dramatically as a team. I also think that tournament drives this league forward dramatically. You can date that back to Nottingham with what they did, an incredible achievement there with Corey Nielsen and those guys, and on and on and on. I think it just puts us on the map and gives us credibility as a league. And I mean, some of those wins were real special as well. I mean, that Davos one, but a few of the other ones too. Some of the ones this season probably more than ever were just fantastic.
And could you feel a change in the way that teams acted towards you as you stayed more in that competition at the start? Was there a little bit more, these guys are are here to play in this, and then hang around?
I even felt it. Me and Todd would go to those CHL draws, and I mean, that first year, I don't know if anyone knew who we were at all, and I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they knew we were working for a hockey club. But by the end, I mean, we made a lot of friends and relationships there, and brought some real credibility. And I think it also, I think the CHL enjoyed our club, being a part of that, and our league being a part of it. There's some really good stories there, and I think on the ice, definitely. I mean, I definitely think after what Nottingham did, and then a few of our wins that first season, for sure. And despite some of the score lines and things, if you look at how we played and how much more we were in games this final season, especially even the second year. I don't think we won one, but we were right in there. And the quality of play grew and grew and grew over the seasons, for sure.
If we can talk a little bit about some statistics of your time as a coach, in terms of during your entire coaching tenure, you never released a player from a roster, which is, from a UK perspective, is unheard of, I think, for that number of years. Was that something that you believed in? Is that like a core value of yours, to not leave a guy behind? Why do you think that no one ever saw the exit door during your time here?
Yeah, I mean, incredible statistic. I mean, in minor league hockey, with how competitive it is and how many great players there are, I think that just sums up our club perfectly. And that's from the owners to how much they care about the guys, and are just good guys, to Todd and Franny and everyone else involved. And it was really unique and really special. I think it takes a lot of extra time to do it that way. It doesn't make for any sort of summer as far as recruiting wise. I can tell you that right now. It's just down to work and doing things the right way, because you can't miss, right? Did we miss on some? You could probably debate that. Yeah, for sure. There was some potential spots there where we could have maybe brought in someone better or more suited for our structure, or whatever it may be. You miss a point here or there, but I think all in all, we did a fantastic job in bringing the right people in. And when you have the right people, you're willing to go to bat for them, right? Whether that's allowing them to improve, or to just play a bit of a different role that maybe they didn't think they were going to play, but just change that based on their early season form. And just really proud of that fact. I mean, it's never never fun having, if you have to let someone go mid-season or whatnot. It's very difficult to get onto with a new team a lot of the time, and very cool statistic. I'm glad you brought that one up.
From a league perspective, now that you're exiting the league, is there any improvements you'd like to see the league make that in the near future? There's a lot of potential there from a lot of clubs, but is there a few areas that you think the league that could improve on?
Yeah, there's a ton of potential. I think it's grown a tremendous amount. Really proud of being a part of that. I think our club has been a big part of that over the last number of years. I think the fan bases for the most part around the league are fantastic. I think the refereeing has gotten a lot better. I know they've put in some time into that and some work. I actually believe DOPS has gotten better. People might not believe me on that. I know that's probably the most debated topic of all time, depending on who gets suspended and what team you're on. But I do, I see the, at least the effort that's being put in there. Is it perfect? By no means. I think the teams do need to get more on the same page away from the game. And I think that maybe they carry over some of the competitiveness from the game mode to decision making in the league, but there needs to be a togetherness and a, all as one to make it a better league and to push things forward. And, there's a number of areas that can apply to, but, when I talk to other people in other leagues, it's very evident how much more, sort of on the same page some of the other leagues are. So that would be a big point. But all in all, I think it's going big time in the right direction. If you look at the caliber of player now to where we started, it's insane how much it's gone up. I couldn't even put a percentage on it, and I think that says a lot.
You mentioned about our club being a big part of that, the Devils being a big part of that. Your relationship with Todd and the owners has always seemed to be one of, I'm sure there has been words behind the scenes, but there's always seemed this really cool united front between you all and a real vision for the project. Without those guys, would you have stayed as long as you did? I get a sense that, because of them, you knew that this was a club that could continue to grow.
100%, yeah. I probably wouldn't be here without them, to be honest. We're looking at the coaching front now, this next phase of who's coming in and stuff, and I'm putting my 2 cents in there, and talking about resumes and stuff, but you look at what I look like before I took the job. It's kind of laughable. Obviously, the club's in a much different state now. The pressure's a totally different thing. The facility, on and on and on. The budget, all sorts of things. So, that maybe doesn't apply to this. But, they took a chance on a guy. I'm forever grateful for that. And they backed me. They really got out of the way and let me do my thing day to day as far as, who I wanted to bring in and, what we wanted to do structure-wise, and they gave me so much support at the same time. They were just, I tell those guys they're like, they're mentors and they're fathers to me. Steve gets mad. He wants to say he's an older brother, but, they're just great guys, great people, and they just were so instrumental in me as a growing coach, but also me as a growing person. And yeah, it was so much fun working for them, and it's so much more than that at this point. And we're great friends, and I don't know if I would have stayed longer. I'm not sure. It's a real tough question.
Now you're our department's Devils head coach. You're going to give us some information we used to try every week, injury updates, signing updates. So what are the rest of the signings? Come on, Lottie. You've got to give us something now that you even. There's no pressure on you now.
I know, it's hilarious. It is fun letting go of some of that. All right, I got to make sure this person doesn't say anything, and this person's saying you better stay quiet. And I know I was a bit of a psychopath with all that, so I'm sure it'll be fun, probably a little more relaxed with the new guy coming in on that stuff, and they can let the office team do their thing, but I don't know. I didn't want people to know. I thought it was to our advantage. I really believed in that, and And as far as what's ahead, I know there's a good portion of the core group back. There's still some more work to be done, but for this, I think it's still very early in the process with, potentially a later season or whatnot. I think the club's in fantastic shape, and I feel so good about that, with time to find a coach, time to round out the roster. And yeah, that's all you're going to get from me.
I think my favorite one was we asked you on a Sunday night after the game, is there any reinforcements coming in? No, there's no news on that. Monday morning, Gleason Fournier is announced the signing for the Cardiff Devils, and I knew then we were never going to break that
I guess I was a bit of a liar or something. I don't know, but it is what it is.
Final closing moments, Andrew, as you reflect on your time at this club and all the great things. I mean, it seems pretty unique to me that you got to go on this journey with a core of players who come across as also friends of yours as well. You think of the number of people who have been with you all the way through this in minor league hockey. That's a special story, isn't it? I mean, that's a unique tale that not many professionals get to tell in sport.
Yeah, it's so lucky. I feel so fortunate. So much fun, really down to the relationships that were made, and so many great people. The fun thing now too is not being their coach anymore. I can be, I definitely, when I was a player coach, I was a little more buddy and probably, had a few more friends back then. I think by the end of it, I didn't have many. So I think a few of those, friendships are rekindling now, and, they can actually tell me what they're up to in the summer instead of, sending me fake videos of workouts and things like that. So
we find out where all the locals are now.
Exactly. I'm one of them, and I think that'll lead to a lot of fun going forward. So,
Andrew, do you have a final parting message for the Devils faithful watching right now?
They're probably sick of me at this point. I think I've had an incredible farewell. The other week was so special. All the messages were so meant everything to me. I've tried to respond to everyone. It's been tough with a new job to I can't. I got to work too. But yeah, just thank you so much. It was an incredible time. Truly grateful, and I'll still be around. I'm sure I'll be back, and I'm only a phone call away. So go Devils.
Andrew, thank you very much, and of course, best of luck to the future, and we really look forward to when you do visit again here. But best of luck, and it's been an absolute pleasure for personally myself to interview over the years and do all the after game stuff, and of course, thank you for all the success you've brought to the Cardiff Devils.
Thanks so much, buddy.